David Barton has been tapped to lead the Keep the Promise PAC, an umbrella organization related to pro-Ted Cruz committees. Barton believes that a vaccination for AIDS would not be found, as AIDS is God's retaliation for sin and a vaccination would defeat this purpose. Barton said, "I don't think they will ever find a vaccine for HIV/AIDS. I say that based on a particular Bible verse." He then cited Romans 1:27, which states, "Likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust for one another, men with men committing what is shameful, and receiving in themselves the penalty of their error which was due." So for Barton, AIDS is God's retaliation for people engaging in homosexual behavior. In 2012, the publisher of Barton's book, The Jefferson Lies, exposing the myths you've always believed about Thomas Jefferson, put a swift end to the publication, as it turned out that it was filled with fabrications. Barton is remembered by many for having claimed to be fluent in Russian, to have smuggled Bibles into the Soviet Union, and that the Founding Fathers were opposed to evolution, even though, chronologically speaking, that would not have been possible as Charles Darwin hadn't been born yet. So, needless to say, according to Raw Story, Barton is known for telling far-fetched stories. Chaz Stevens says that he's passionate about the First Amendment, and for 10 years he's been making a nuisance of himself in its defense. His website, entitled My Acts of Sedition, reads like a busy events calendar of mocking the prayers that often precede government meetings in Florida, with headlines such as, "Get ready, Lake Worth." His site also points out evidence of corruption in government which runs afoul of Florida's long-standing government in the sunshine laws. The opening salvo in Stevens' attacks is simply to request permission to give the invocation at a local governmental council meeting in the name of Satan. Officials must then twist and turn to avoid such an eventuality, and in some cases just abandon invocations altogether. For Stevens, that constitutes mission accomplished. Sometimes the situation escalates, as was the case with Lake Worth, where his request was denied on the basis that invocations were being abandoned, but the city continued to have them anyway. Stevens has secured the services of a lawyer to pursue this particular case. On his blog, quoting from an interview he gave recently, the atheist stated that he is not actually a Satanist and would be less bothered by invocations if they were generic in nature or allowed all religion to participate, something which doesn't seem likely to happen. Others have tried similar tactics in the past with little success. The difference this time may be that for many elected officials, the time has come to more strictly follow the Constitution, or Stevens has simply been more persistent. For many years, sports coaches have used various techniques to inspire players. Traditionally, one of these has been calls to divine inspiration, if not outright divine meddling, in their preferred earthly form of entertainment. Regardless of the psychological effects that prayer, four-leaf clovers, and rabbit feet might have, most people disregard such things as inconsequential to actually excelling at a sport. After all, if both teams engage in such behaviors, how does the supernatural powers decide between them? Meanwhile, at the Cannon County High School in Tennessee, the football team must be doing something wrong, as the Fates have thus far this year granted its players a winless record of 8 lopsided defeats. And that's only this year. In 2014, their win-loss record was 1-10. In fact, they have only won 3 games in the past 6 years. The coach, who has been taking players to various church meetings over the years, claims that no arm twisting is involved. But perhaps the powers that be are trying to tell them something. Practice, practice, practice.